Hi everyone, so welcome to day number 1 of the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar collaboration, which is run by Monika, aka Paper Mona, and another member we have is Denise from Little G Papercrafts. Both of their YouTube channels will be linked in the description box below. Please be sure to go over and check out their videos daily from December the 1st to December the 25th as well. So for the first envelope, we have this lovely coral pink envelope box with lovely golden detail on the number 1, which is spelled out with letters. And in here is a little card, a gift from us to you. It says, this year we hope you've spread some joy, so we'd love to share a treat. Come craft with us and have some fun. It's time to put up your feet. And also a code to access some daily inspiration on Papercraft Society website. And inside the envelope we have this gorgeous Christmassy die set, the wreath, foliage, the berries, the holly leaves, and all designed by Lisa Horton. It is such an amazing die set. I really enjoyed working with this, as you'll see just right now. So I've cut out loads and loads of these. I wasn't sure where I was going with this, but I figured if I'm die cutting, die cut more anyway, because I know that I will be referring back to these box in future makes where I will need to add something, so I will have those already set aside. I have a 4 by 8 inch card base, which I haven't worked much with in the past. I figured why not challenge myself to something that I don't always do. So this is a 4 by 8 inches, like a DL card base. I have another 2 pieces, one measuring 1/4 of an inch smaller at 3 3/4 by 7 3/4, and then one at 3.5 by 7.5. And this is the smallest one, the 3.5 by 7.5, that we are going to start working on. So I'm going to bring in a lot of these and all the different elements. I'm going for the wreath, I'm going for the holly leaves, the berries, the pine needle foliage. So all the different dyes I'm using on this. You can see I'm just gluing them on, and I just came in here to show you. I cut away the excess and I can glue those somewhere else just to save a little bit of that cardstock or the die cut pieces. And I'm just covering the entire surface of this 3.5 by 7.5 inch cardstock with all the different elements from the die cut range. Once that's done, I'm going to layer up 3 of the wreath die cuts using my fine tip glue bottle and some liquid glue. The cardstock I die cut all these elements from is about, I think it was 250 GSM, so adding them on top of each other will create quite a nice heavyweight dimensional element piece. And I am planning to add it in the middle of my card, but I will add color to these when I do that, and then I will decorate it with all the other pieces. However, I didn't like that middle of my wreath decorated in the background in there. So I'm going to take my die that I cut the wreath out with, and I'm going to die cut it from this piece that I added all the die cut elements to. I'm checking which is the position that I like the most, and I am going to tape it in place with some low-tack tape and run it through my die cutting machine. So now the pieces that I have layered on top of each other fit perfectly into that die cut piece. And now I will be able to layer it on top of the other one. And you'll see a little later in this video how I changed my mind about the background piece. But first of all, I want to add some sparkle to my background in here. So I am using my anti-static bag, you guessed it, I'm going to heat emboss, with my brayer using the Versamark embossing ink pad. I am just covering the entire raised area, so everything that was glued on top of this cardstock will be covered in the ink. It's very hard to see where the ink was applied, and I am not applying much pressure at all. The clear sparkle embossing powder by Wow is one I'm sprinkling over in here. And it is then when the embossing powder sticks that I see where exactly my ink went. And there's a few wee areas where it stuck to the cardstock where I didn't want it to. So I just come in with a dry brush and I just brush away all that excess that I don't want to. And it wasn't much at all. I just wanted to tidy it up as much as I could. I mean, if a little stays here or there for an extra sparkle, I take it. I don't mind at all. So I heat set it with my heat tool, and I did burn the very edge of one of those sides. You'll see me rectifying that in a little while. You can see it's a bit, not so much on camera, but in real life it was yellow. I brought in my aqua markers, and the only colors I'm using is the red one. I think it's crimson, and then all the different shades of the greens, and then a little later you'll see me bring in some pink too. So I'm just adding color to all this foliage that I will be using. And while I'm doing this, I would like to invite you to join in our collaboration in the challenge using the hashtag PS Advent Calendar 2024. So if you share your makes on social media which were inspired by our makes and you use this hashtag, we will be able to see what you've created. And I have seen the contents of all the envelopes, and I know that there will be some amazing makes displayed as a result of using these goodies. So in here you can see me bringing in a pink for the smaller berries, and then again a different shade of green. And once I was coloring in all the pieces and I tried to arrange them on top of my card, this one was missing a color, the wreath that I layered up. So I used a crushed olive distress oxiding. And here you can see me cutting away 1/8 of an inch on all four sides because of that burn just on the very edge of my cardstock, which probably wasn't even noticeable, but I knew it was there, so I had to get rid of it. It just means that my background border will be a little bit wider, which is okay with me. But I didn't like the white border. My first idea was to ink blend in there, but I thought in here that I needed to bring a bit of a gold in it. So I cut a gold mirror cardstock to the same size, 7 3/4 of an inch by 3 3/4 of an inch, and then a piece of white cardstock just behind that wreath window in there, because I didn't like the gold in there. I just had to add something white. And then for a bit of interest in my background, I added some metallic gold splatters. This is a watercolor paint that I ordered off Amazon long time ago. If it's still available, I will leave a link in the description box below. But it leaves a lovely metallic shine on top of that very subtle sparkle by the Wow embossing powder. And I just love how this turned out. It will really bring my whole card together once it's ready. So I am layering everything on top of each other. I had applied some double-sided tape on top of these. This is my preferred choice of adhesive when I am working with mirror cardstock. And then I use cola glue to attach these both pieces to my card base. My first idea was to stamp a sentiment inside that wreath, but then I changed my mind about that. One of last year's Simple Cards and Papercraft magazines, issue 249, came with this gorgeous die set that spells out joy with big chunky letters, and it also has a background die to it. So I die cut the letters 3 times from white cardstock and the background once from vellum. I'll not be using the letter O though, I only be using the J and the Y, and my O will be replaced by the wreath. At this point I was undecided if I wanted to use the vellum background, but I will cut them down later, as you'll see. So I am adding some glue, just liquid glue with the fine tip glue bottle at the back of the wreath, and this is the stacked piece, remember? And I'm paper piecing it back just where it belongs into that die cut window. And then I arrange all my foliage that I die cut and colored in all around the wreath by adding a little glue just at the base of each one of these, so I can tuck the next one underneath them. I also came back later, which I forgot to record, with the crushed olive. I colored in the distress oxide in crushed olive. I colored in some more of the foliage just to bring some more of that color into the foreground as well. And I am just going around the whole wreath. I'm kind of going symmetrical-ish in threes until I'm happy with how full my wreath looks. I'm taking one of each letter, one of the J and one of the Y. I'm coloring it the same pink as those small berries. And this is, I think, the color called Tulip from the Aqua Markers by Spectrum Noir. And then I'm going to layer these on top of the other two letters because I've die cut 3 of each. So I'm just using my liquid glue and I'm going to layer these up with the pink one on top. These are, okay, I recorded it. I thought I hadn't. These are the crushed olive ones, which I thought that I needed to add. I really forgot that I recorded this. Sorry guys, I don't mean to be too confusing here. So I'm just tucking them here and there because this is the color that I used on the base of the wreath, and it kind of showed but got lost, so this way I could bring it all to the foreground. Now I have some pearls in here. These are all mixed colors of white pearls. Mixed sizes of white pearls, and there's so many of these in different sizes. I think there's about at least 11 or 12 different sizes that I counted, from teeny tiny ones to quite large ones. So on this wreath, I'm only using the smallest ones, the teeny tiny ones, and maybe 2 or 3 sizes up from there, and I just added them all over that wreath, inside, outside, and on top of it. Then I came back with some glossy accents. I added it just to those red berries, and I just sprinkled very little crystalline glitter on top of them, which is a translucent glitter, does not cover up the color, but adds some lovely shine to them. I'd also glued the letters J and Y, and now this was a footage that I really lost. I just glued them on either side of the wreath by adding the little piece of the vellum behind them as well. So I just cut down at a straight line really beside the J and just all around the Y, and I just glued the acetate behind them. Didn't need it, but I just thought it was extra interesting. Look what I've done. I glued I decorated my wreath upside down. So how I rectified is I am cutting away that front panel, so just on the score line, and then I take another piece of white cardstock measuring 8 by 4.5 inches, scored at 1/2 inch, and I'm adding glue to the 1/2 inch of a tab, and I'm just gluing my card front to it. And now it's all fixed. The other piece of cardstock goes in my scrap box, and I will just use it up for die cutting or stamping on. And one more thing that again was lost with that footage that I lost where I glued down the letters, I added some Spectrum Noir sparkle pen onto the J and the Y only. And this is the card finished. I'm not sure if the colors show up really nicely, but I'll show you some close-ups now. And then here you can see all the colors, the sparkle, the texture, the dimensions so much better. I really love how this card turned out. Do you? Do let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And please be sure you go over to Denise's and Monika's channels as well to check out what they made. And if you would like to see some more Papercraft Society Advent Calendar inspiration, here is my playlist to last year's makes. I really hope to see you back soon. Bye!